Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the start of our new BS bull meme series, the Jason Factor. The Jason Factor. Juggernaut Jason is a 6'12" hulking behemoth of the North American ladder. Not only that, he once went back in time to tag team with Kung Fury himself to save the world from Nazi Hitler. I know that sounds strange, but canonically speaking, in the multiverse, there are versions of Hitler that aren't Nazis. He is Jason. And he has graciously allowed us to access his infinite archive of knowledge, talent, and raw sexual energy. And by that, I mean, we are going to try to learn from him, and we are also going to try to have some fun and possibly make fun of him. Jason is 6,000 plus MMR, Terran player. He's very good. And we will follow his escapades. And hopefully we can get a good little series out of this. Jason has humbly allowed us to cover his games, his replays, to allow himself to be documented for the future of history after, civilization recovers. So he's got a game up here on Ephemeron against a Barcode Protoss player. Of course, when you're this high up on the ladder, pretty much everybody is a Barcode, except Jason. He's not afraid. He's not scared. And we're just going to see what happens. See if we get up to any shenanigans, if anything funny or fun happens. I actually don't know if he wins or loses these games. Jason uploads all of his replays to the SC2 Replay Stats website, and I just use the link to his profile to grab games. So these are still going to be cold casts. I don't know what happens in the games. I'm literally just grabbing random ones, and we're just going to see. We're just going to see how it goes. So Jason opens up with a pretty standard Reaper expand, gets inside of the Protoss base, does get some... Oh, that's... Jason, I'm trying to hype you up. I'm trying to be your hype man, and you letting your Reaper die like that to probes. Gotta be me. God. Okay, well, if Jason loses this game, I blame Jason. It's not my fault. Not that it really could be. I'm not the one playing. I digress. The probe is being a little bit annoying, so you put the command center to the side, so lifts it up, moves it. Now, pretty standard that we're going to see here, Terran versus Protoss style, is the Protoss sending that Adept shade up, closes the door just in time. And the Protoss just wants to scout with that. When you are playing Protoss and you're using the Adept like this, you want to see if you can see anything past the wall where the probe initially went. And because Jason put the factory and starport to the right side, he doesn't know 100% that it's a factory starport. This is important because the Protoss player now has to consider a few different options. First, it could be a factory and a starport, which, as the all-knowing observers, we can see factory, starport. Probably going to be a mine drop. But if you're not 100% sure that that infrastructure is there, oh my... Thank you. Thank you for the 10-month resub, Major Ops. You gotta be me. Jesus Christ. Oh my. Well.
What an idiot. What an idiot.
It's okay. We can make fun of barcodes. They don't have feelings or souls. Anyway, it's also possible that the Terran player does the Reaper expand and then builds a second barracks and goes like 2-1-1 fast stim. Protoss has to open with a warp prism, because otherwise this stalker is here until Blink is done researching. That's a bit unfortunate. Pretty standard strategy. Protoss, many TOS players put the pylon on the outside across the gap from the bases so that you have a little bit more of a heads up of when that drop comes by. Now, Jason's going for 2 mines. It's just a 2-mine drop. He's not actually going to build a 3rd Widow mine. Let's see what he can get done. This pylon is not going to be able to see it. It doesn't finish quite in time. However, 2 stalkers and an adept are here. 2 more stalkers do get warped in. He's just going to yeet the Widow mines in. Whoa, they both get to burrow. That was not supposed to happen. And he's going to get himself 2 probes and a stalker. Pretty nicely done there. Now, of course, this medevac has nothing in it, but the probes think it might. So they all run. Well, how about that? Well, that was a smart little play from Jason. Look at that. He's like, yeah, I only had 2 mines. And but the Protoss, you always expect there to be a 3rd mine. And that's why he freaked out and moved all his probes away. This is really nice. The observer comes inside of the main. It's going to go into siege mode. He's like, okay, I see what you got going on. There's your standard bio follow-up. Stim and combat shield researching very far away from the cliff. This way stalkers can't just jump up, kill him, and jump back. Now we do still have a warp prism on the outside of Jason's 3rd base. Robotics Bay is going to come in, so possibly seeing a transition into Colossus. Could also go into disruptors, considering that he has a warp prism already on the map. He could just get the warp prism speed upgrade and build a disruptor. Jason's follow-up here gets the 3rd gas to line up with the medevac Widowmine production supply block. That hurts, buddy. You need the medevac. So there's going to be a Colossus. I was going to say, if the warp prism's on the other side of the map, it is kind of hard to put a disruptor in it. You can't warp disruptors in. Don't get any ideas, Blizzard. I'm watching you. But the observer knows. Oh, the observer sees that everything goes down the ramp. And see, this gets annoying because it's a 3 adept drop as well. So he doesn't necessarily need to have the prism here to get follow-up damage. It gives him a pullback opportunity. A lot of Protoss players will throw the shade to the prism and then just run the adepts around and use it as a retreat point. But obviously the prism still has 5 pickup range even after the nerf last year. Oh, it feels really weird to refer to 2019 as last year, but that's just the way. That's the way life goes. That's the way love goes. No 3rd base yet. An observer for Mr. Barcode. He's actually got a good amount of observers. He's got these 3 observers giving him a lot of coverage with the pylon on the side there too. So he knows what's going on. And it's like, oh yeah, you want to move your army out? Cool. There's 2 Widow Mines here. He dodges those. The Adepts get a few SCV kills. I do like the Vikings. The Vikings are nice. This early on, they're not going to be able to contribute to a fight in a meaningful way, but really nice to get those extra Vikings out there a little bit faster to deal with the prism. These Adepts are continuing to just try and run around and be a nuisance. SCVs aren't really all mining, so that's nice. But how much does Mr. Barcode have? I feel like Jason, if he micros well, he could actually kill this. It really comes down to the force field. He's going to stand, runs forward. 3 force fields are going to parse away 2 of the Marines. A lot of the bio is still here. 2 more Marines are going to get shaved off. Now, the Colossus range is not yet complete, which means Mr. Colossus only has 7 attack range, so they have to get a little bit close to that Terran army. Now, with the second Colossus, this definitely gets a little bit trickier. He does pop another Guardianship with that sentry. It wears off, or the sentry died. I can't remember. This is happening a little bit too fast, but with the second Colossus in range now done, it does look like Jason is going to have to retreat. The medevacs do not have enough time to heal this army during the fight. So he's going to need to pull back, need to be careful. Jason's got himself a good army. This observer in the middle of his base still sees absolutely everything. And, well, yeah, as you can see, the depot's being raised to stop the warp prism and the adepts from shading in, around, and getting down. Does complicate things a little bit for him, so he has to kind of piece the base back together. The observer moves. Don't know if Jason saw that. The little guy over here can see everything. He sees all the production, sees the second starports being made, and of course can see where the army is outside of this 3rd base area. So really well done with this observer. Jason has not built any missile turrets. He's not a Nathanias kind of guy who just builds turrets. He's going to get a sensor tower. But that, of course, allows the observer to just chill. Look at that. He repositions it again. He's like, well, I just want to see a little bit more of that army. Also, high prestige KR in the chat. Love you, buddy. You're based god. There's the scan finally from Jason. Does get the observer. Now, there's a disruptor inside of this prism. And there's 3 colossi. But I'd say the regular ground army is really not that big. Jason's got a pretty big army. If we look at the total count, right? What's supporting the Colossus? We've got 6 zealots and 10 stalkers. 1 sentry. Not tremendous. Now, big disruptor hit can obviously turn things around. Disruptors are very strong against these big bio plays. So you need to be very careful with how you're dealing with it. Oh, I love it. The disruptor drop in the back while the army's waiting out front. Disruptor drop is going to go straight to the SCVs, and he gets 7 workers picked off. Big blow there to the economy of Jason. Now, the Protoss did take a pretty late 3rd. All things said and done. He's not in a bad place economically. He's still ahead on workers. He still has been mining from this 3rd base. And as far as tech goes, he's got the gas mining here too. Although, he's going to probably float gas for a little bit since his mineral income was so significantly hemorrhaged there. All things said and done, though, Looking like a pretty good straightforward game. He's going to send a couple random Marines to look around the map, try to see what there is to see as Mr. Barcode prepares. These are very slow warping in Zealots. That's like having DSL. No, nothing's that bad, Nathan. Nothing's that bad. That's like having 2004 broadband. That's what it's like. Yeah, you know. So we got the scan. After that Marine died, wanted to say, hey, I want to see these stalkers. What is he getting done? What's going on? This Marine checking for a 4th base. Psycho Babas in my Twitch chat says, hey, Nate, I did that BC Liberator build you did and completely destroyed a Protoss, LOL. Congratulations, buddy. Congratulations. I do have that build on my YouTube, I'm pretty sure, as well. It's one of the last videos I put up when when the battlecruiser first got buffed. So he's scanning to see if he can chase this army. And he sees, okay, there's the Colossi. The Disruptor is back home. It's at the natural. The Templar don't have Storm. Jason gets 2-2. He's got +1 ship weapons coming in. EMP upgrade is on the way. And the Protoss he's playing a little bit of a game. He's playing a game of chicken here, but I think Jason has realized there is no Storm. The Vikings are just going to yeet straight onto the Colossi while the rest of the bio starts to move in, and he's starting to pre-split around the Protoss base, realizing, hey, Storm might finish during the fight, but if I'm pre-split, it won't matter, or if I just do too much damage in the first place. He's going to focus down the 3rd base next as first Storms do begin to drop. There are a lot of High Templar here with a lot of energy. Feedbacks go down onto the medevacs. These Zealots don't have charge, though. Jason can kite these bad boys all day. Really good spread, really good positioning. And I think when he saw that there was no Storm that came onto the Vikings, he went and he took one poke at those Colossi with his Vikings. And in that exact moment, he said to himself, oh yeah, you ain't got Storm. And GG was called. Well done, Jason. Well done.